Okay, we're in Gemara Sanhedrin. We're doing Hasbar 8:2. Gemara Sanhedrin, Perik Shmini, Ben Sora Mora, Taf Ayin Dalet Amid Aleph. And the Gemara began by telling us about these rabbis in Lud who said that it's better that a person should do an Avera than to be killed, except for three, which were Avodah Zarah, Gili Arayot, and Shvichas Damim, idol worship, sexual morality, and murder. Rabbi Shmuel said, there's a pasuk that says "B'chai behem," that you should live by them, and that he feels refers to the fact that when it comes to avodah zarah, if a person asks you to do avodah zarah, better you should do avodah zarah than to be killed. And the Gemara says, I don't know if that's really certain in all cases, because Yachol afilu b'farhesia. B'farhesia means in public. What if there's a public edict that Jews have to worship avodah zarah or be killed? You're telling us that Jews should worship avodah zarah and not be killed? Talmud Lomar, the pasuk says, "Lo sechalu et shem kadshi." You shall not create a chil Hashem, desecrate my name, but to sanctify it. Therefore, it would be in contradiction to what you say, Rabbi Shmuel. If it's in public, we're not supposed to. It would be a tremendous chil Hashem if Jewish people did avodah zarah. And we're supposed to sanctify God's name. And if sanctifying God's name means that I have to give my life for it, so be it. Inhu de amruk Rabbi Elazar. And we say that the rabbis in the attic of Lud actually follow the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer and not Rabbi Shmuel. The Tanya, the Breita, Rabbi Elazar Omer, the Breita of Rabbi Elazar says the following. We say a pasuk 3 times a day, and we all know these pasukim. That we are to love Hashem with all our heart and all our soul and all our might. The im and the Gemara and the Breita continues. Im namar b'chol nafshecha. If it already says in the pasuk b'chol nafshecha in the Torah, you have to love God with all your soul. Lama namar b'chol modecha. Then what do you have to say to love God with all your might? Isn't your soul your most precious possession? So it seems to be redundant. B'chol meodecha. V'im na'amar b'chol meodecha. And if it would only say b'chol meodecha with all your might, lama na'amar b'chol nafshecha. Then what's the need to say b'chol nafshecha? Meaning it should be covered, one or the other. Why do we need both? B'chol nafshecha, b'chol meodecha. One would suffice. So the Breita goes on and continues to say and clarifies. Im yesh lecha adam shegufo chaviv alav mimono. There are people who care more about their bodies than their money. Lekach ne'amar b'chol nafshecha. So we're talking about those people who really care more about their soul than their money, and therefore, if it's required to sanctify God's name with your soul, they should do so. Vim yesh lecha adam shemamonu chaviv alav migufo, and there are people in the world who value their money and their possessions more than their bodies. Lekach namar, the pasuk therefore says, b'chol modecha. Then you who desire, who worship, who value their possessions more than their soul, that too needs to be given up to sanctify God's name. And therefore, from the idea of loving God with all your soul and all your might, that means if they ask us, if Jewish people are asked publicly to worship avodah zarah or be killed, then the way we show love to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is we sacrifice our souls, we sacrifice our possessions. And I think that's one of the truest definitions of love, that love does require sacrifice. How much sacrifice? Depends how much you love. And that's why we say 3 times a day. We have to understand what we say 3 times a day in the Shema, what we're truly saying, what we are truly putting on the line. We should never have to be tested. And so again, it seems that when it comes to farhesia in public, we don't desecrate God's name, and we're not over an avera, we don't do a sin, because it would be a tremendous chil Hashem.